Welcome to Authors in Your Pocket, a literary show brought to you by Tricom Podcast. Today's show is an exclusive pod excerpt featuring the New York Times bestselling author Mary Monroe, reading from her exciting new novel, Deliver Me from Evil, published by Defina Books, an imprint of Kensington Publishing. We are pleased to have Mary Monroe read one of her favorite passages from Deliver Me from Evil.
A crude tattoo on his right bicep told the world that his name was Wade. I recognized prison artwork when I saw it, but he didn't look like a thug, at least not like any of the ones I knew. There were no grills of tacky-looking gold teeth decorating his mouth like stale corn. There was no thick gold chain wrapped around his neck like a noose. With his neatly trimmed jet black hair, smoky gray eyes, sharp, handsome features, and a thin T-shirt and tight jeans hugging his well-developed body, he looked like a low-income Lenny Kravitz. Between sips from a can of Coors Light, he puffed on a thick blunt. A strong haze swirled around his head like a halo. It was some pretty good shit, too. I welcomed the immediate buzz I got from inhaling the secondhand smoke. I hadn't smoked weed this strong and sweet since I was a teenager, more than 10 years ago. But within seconds, that halo around his head turned into a dark cloud, and it was moving in my direction. I swallowed a huge lump that was threatening to block my throat. Then I held my breath as he dialed the number to the video store that my husband owned and managed. "Hello." "Yes," Wade said in a loud and gruff voice as soon as he got a response on the other end. It sounded like he had a huge lump in his throat, too. He coughed and cleared his throat, altering his voice this time. "I need to speak to Jesse Ray Thurman." He talked with the blunt dangling from the corner of his lip. "Put him on the phone. Put him on the phone right now," he ordered, a grimace on his face. "Dude, I ain't playing." He even sounded like Lenny Kravitz. The telephone, sitting in the lap of a wobbly bamboo chair, was so cheap-looking it resembled a child's toy. The Walmart bag that he had removed it from lay on the floor, with the sales receipt peeking out like a white tongue. But the cheap telephone had a speaker feature, so I could hear my husband's response on the other end of the line from where I stood, a few feet away from Wade. "You've reached Video Drama located on Alcatraz near downtown Berkeley," my husband answered, sounding as cheerful and phony as a used car salesman. "Please hold." Wade's mouth dropped open so wide the blunt fell to the floor, scorching the faded carpet. He immediately ground it out by stomping on it with the heels of his run-over, well-worn shoes, which he had probably picked up from Payless or Goodwill. It must have been hell for such a handsome man to be so broke in this day and age. I wondered where he had gotten the money to buy the weed. "That punk put me on hold," he hollered, looking at me with an incredulous look on his face. "What kind of MF are you married to?" he yelled, shaking the beer can at me like it was a weapon. "He doesn't know I've been kidnapped," I whimpered. My eyes were itching, and the insides of my nostrils felt like they were on fire. I held my breath again. I could barely feel my lips when I spoke again. "Give him time. He'll be with you in a minute. Please give him time." "Oh, F this mess. You better be right. I ain't got all day. They got another line I could call at that damn place?" Well, they have 2 lines, but if you call the other one, you'll just get put on hold again," I managed, my words rolling out of my mouth like rocks. "Please give him time," I begged. The inside of my mouth was so dry, it felt like my tongue had stuck to the roof. I closed my eyes and prayed that the man who was about to demand a $500,000 ransom for my release was not going to run out of patience. I knew from experience that a caller to my husband's business could be put on hold for 1 minute or much longer and left listening to an instrumental version of Strangers in the Night. That was why when I called my husband at work. I usually call him on his cellular phone. "This is video drama," my husband said after what seemed like an eternity. "We are located—" "Shut up!" Wade roared, cutting my husband off in mid-sentence. "Excuse me," Jesse Ray said, still sounding cheerful and phony. "I need to speak to Jesse Ray Thurman right now." Wade glared at me with such an extreme sneer, it looked like his face had been turned inside out. He looked raw and more menacing than ever. Now he did look like some of the thugs I knew. There was a pause before Jesse Ray responded, a pause that was long enough to make my blood pressure feel like it was about to go through the roof. "Speaking. How can I help you today?" Jesse Ray continued, almost singing his words. "We are here to fill all of your video needs. We've got everything from the earliest to the latest Hollywood hits to—" I said, "Shut up. I got a gun and I know how to use it."
Deliver Me from Evil is published by Defina Books, an imprint of Kensington Publishing, and is available wherever books are sold. Learn more about Mary Monroe and her novels by visiting www.marymonroe.org. If you'd like to know more about our show, please visit us at www.authorsinyourpocket.com or www.tricompodcast.com. Thanks for listening. I'm Wally Muhammad with Tricom Podcast, dedicated to putting authors in your pocket.